On health.
Exercise, good eat, good sleep. It's as simple as that. Let's look at exercise first. Woohoo! Look at me go. Man, and that's it. At your own pace, even at your own spot, whatever position you're in, wherever you are, you can exercise.
Hi. Right on that spot behind me is where the fellow in yellow took his first steps.
And why did I take my first steps? What was that all about? I went out there for a really good reason. I wanted to move myself. And I also wanted to move others. And I wanted to show them that example of what it is to move and exercise. And when I say exercise, I am saying the mind, the body, and the spirit. I was able to move a lot of people, and a lot of people moved towards me. And that was great. And it was encouraging exercise, even if it was just in people smiling. And that is a good exercise. That's a good start. When you can smile, you're exposing your spirit. And laughter's free, as long as it isn't at somebody else's expense. Psst. I want to let you in on a secret. I know of many medicines that can make you feel better. Okay, no more whispering. I'm going to get a doctor or a lab technician to explain this to you.
How about a scientist?
Terrific.
Okay, let's move along. What are myokines? Recent studies of one type of myokine, irisin, was estimated to reduce the probability of breast cancer by nearly 90%, within 1 unit increase of irisin. Other studies on irisin found this medicine may also assist as a treatment for Alzheimer's disease because of its positive influence on neuron functional impairment.
What else can it do?
Helps convert white fat tissue to brown. Brown equals metabolically active heat-generating fat, drives up energy expenditure. Improves the balance of insulin to glucagon. Glucose homeostasis correlated with muscle and strength improvements in the elderly, staving off gradual loss of muscle mass, strength and function. Irisin is one of many myokine proteins that can regulate and control all kinds of conditions your body may endure.
Yeah, that's my bicep.
Tell them where myokines are produced.
Okay, I'm going to field that one. It comes from your muscles, exercising, moving. Now, you can exercise vigorously or lightly, and according to how you exercise is according to how these myokines come out and develop. And they work with not just your muscles, but organs throughout your whole entire body. I felt the change when I was conditioning. I felt the change as I moved across Canada. My body was communicating with itself. I feel it all the time now. And I do extremely good now for somebody who has both walked across Canada, biked across Canada, and been very physically active between then and now. Sorry, I skipped ahead there. I want to rewind a little bit here and look back on just what it took to get me across Canada. And it did have a lot to do with myokines. And no, not metachlorians.
2005.
Bad back, bad knee, bad leg, bad shoulder, bad ear, bad lungs, bad everything. Bad allergies, bad health. And I was facing a lifetime of it, and I knew it. I say this, when your body is revolting, it's time for revolution. That spark that really got me on the road was thinking I just might not live to see the age of 50. Days before my 35th birthday, I loaded up a U-Haul, hopped in it, and headed west. Then headed for Vancouver. Unloaded my truck, then prepared the night before, and the next day, off I went. Took that first step. I got hope. I got merit. I got over the mountains. I got through the North Thompson River Valley. I found Mount Terry Fox and rounded the corner towards Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Northern Ontario. 28th of July, Friday, Terry Fox's birthday. A short walk from the camp to the memorial. I had no problem pulling the trailer up to the top of the lookout. It's such a beautiful lookout. Lots of people taking a look. Some smoking around the monument, if you can believe that. I pulled my trailer up under some trees, near a picnic table. I talked to people all day. It was nice. A lady and her mom were there. The lady comes there to get inspired. Both her and her mom have MS. When we finished, we hugged. I asked them to show me how strong their muscles were, and they almost crushed me. They're doing all right. I did manage to get a nap. During it, I heard a rustle at one of my food bags. A lady was placing $5 there. Every dollar I got today, I gave to the girls inside for Terry. Happy birthday. Good job. The heart of Canada runs this road. His spirit is here. I got to meet Terry in a very unique way that day, and the days that followed. I was doing it myself for cancer. Well, cancer prevention, research, and awareness. I was doing it without the support of a charity. I was out there alone. Now, I did put prevention first. If you can prevent cancer, then you have yourself a cure. By the time I was heading into Sudbury, a cancer research hospital in Toronto was willing to take me on. I was so excited to get into Sudbury and then on to Toronto. Things were really looking up. And then like that, the trip was over. At least I thought it was. I did find people to help me put it back together. Everything was supplied by the locals. They really came together, even right down to a brand new sign. And I was back on the road and I made it into Toronto. And it was a good experience. A long, hard, worked for experience. And it took a little bit of a break. But not much of a break there. The trailer did. I was back on the road to make it across Canada. Wow. Here's Theo. And it was a little bit of a rest here too, before I was back out across Newfoundland. That was amazing. Nova Scotia, into Ottawa, and back most of the way across Canada. And then the bike ride, which was, again, a huge experience. Very huge. Traveling over 26,000 kilometers across Canada required an incredible amount of exercise. And that is the mind, the body, and the spirit. But it also required a tremendous amount of food. And when you're on the road and you're traveling like that, going 40, 50, sometimes 60 kilometers a day walking, or 150 kilometers a day biking, you'd eat almost anything you could. But you did have your preferences.
So I talked a lot about exercise. How about good eat? If you're exerting yourself, you might not last a day without water. Water filtration system, drop it in a river, drop it in a puddle, drop it anywhere, and pump away. A minute will give you a liter. And this is good up to 10,000 liters, as long as I find a water source somewhere. That said, of course, if you're along a highway, desperate enough, you just go, hey! How about bananas? Bananas are great, but they also ripen up really, really, really quick. Get all these brown spots. Mush. Lots and lots of mush. Carrots work better than bananas. But the one great thing about carrots, they're the last thing I pack in the bags. Sweet potato. And I love the rutabaga. This will last for days. And I would just... lots of energy. Lots of food. The outer bag is in case the inner bag opens up. So the whey protein is fast protein. Here's the slow protein. And when I mean slow protein, is something your body can chew on and chew on. Keeping myself hydrated. Fruits, vegetables. Keeping my machinery working. So that's where I would go with the protein. The key was, in performing the way I was performing, I needed to have a steady flow of energy and the ability to replace. So as my mechanisms needed to get stronger and stronger, I needed the proteins to rebuild and rebuild. And of course, I needed the energy continuously to be pumping and energizing those mechanisms. I look at exercise like this. You're asking your inner mechanics for a continuous upgrade. Or you're asking your inner mechanics for just general maintenance. Either or, you're communicating to your body, and your body is communicating back to you what you need and what it needs.
On mobility.
When you're out there moving around everywhere, consider if everybody would be able to join you.
Actively inclusively. Mobility for everybody.
To overcome the obstacles. To push back the walls. To break down the barriers. To surpass what handicaps.
This is what is like not being able to see.
Handicap. A circumstance that makes progress or success difficult. Act as an impediment too.
When you've removed the barrier that impedes someone, you've given that person ability. I can honestly say, looking at that symbol, that all the other symbols in there, I'm sure there's one or two I do not know. There's certainly a lot there that I do know, and even some that I had to face myself. This is one of the two legs that took me 26,000 kilometers across Canada. Trauma can strike in a split second, and it can be a life-altering experience. An open wound down to the bone. I didn't even want to look at it. The doctors, they kind of forced me to. They needed me to accept I just might lose my leg. I don't know anybody near me that is one. I don't know how to navigate this. Then I thought to myself, well, you know an amputee. You know Terry. And Terry did okay. Right now, there's a person wheelchairing around the world in a wheelchair. You know how he's doing. You know he's doing okay. And it could have been worse. You could have lost the use of both your arms and your legs. And it could have been worse than that. And I thought to myself, look, if it was but not for a split second here or there, I could have had a whole different array of issues that I'd be facing. We need to face this.
On recovery. Where are you heading?
To the TV room.
Where are your crutches?
On my bed.
Get up off your ass and stop feeling sorry for yourself. I didn't put your leg back together for you to be rolling
I'll
around.
get them.
Get your ass in there and get on them.
My leg feels funny when I stand and my foot turns purple.
It's going to do that. You need to get your circulation back. You need to grow back your blood vessels to carry the blood away. That is why you feel that way. That's why your foot is turning purple. I heard from the nurses you want to be out of here by Halloween?
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to happen. In fact, Take his wheelchair away. He isn't permitted to use it.
I stayed on my crutches, and Dr. McDermott allowed me to leave by Halloween. 2 months later, I heard that Dr. McDermott passed away. I often wish he could have seen how far his work went and how far I've went on the work he did on my leg. I may have been one of Dr. Patrick McDermott's last patients. It hung heavy on a teenage boy. I worked really hard on my recovery and trying to get my leg moving again. I even started running in a walking cast. A year and a half later, the open wound healed. I said as a teenager, if I become an adult, I'm going to make a difference in the lives of others. I thought of Terry and I thought of Rick a lot in my recovery.
How long did it take for you to recover?
In all seriousness, I'm still recovering. When you've had an injury like I've had, you face years and years and years of recovery. If you don't move the injured leg, it will not move for you. Again, we heal as we move. And that's from any trauma we face, physical and emotional. We can move away from it. We can move through it. Remember this, because you limp does not mean you are broken. In fact, it displays you are not. And I do limp sometimes often. But often I find the best limping I do is when I limp with both feet. Then I know I've gone as far as I could go. In 2011, I celebrated with thousands of difference makers, along with a fellow that wheelchaired around the world 25 years earlier. As my nephew reflected on the moments he captured with photos, I was reflecting on the journey that we traveled. My nephew happened to just glance back upon his reflections, and he seen a man wheeling up in a wheelchair, struggling to throw a battery into his camera. He was able to capture yet another moment. Rick said to me, "You've come pretty far yourself." I said to Rick, "Not as far as you. In order for me to go as far as you, I'd have to run across Canada and back." He said to me, "You can do it." And I'm doing it. I will run across Canada with your support. And I've been spending years in trying to gather support after that conversation. After that conversation as well, with that yellow jacket that we wore, I thought to myself, if I'm going to run across Canada, maybe I should dress in yellow. And then I laughed. If I do that, maybe I should call myself the fellow in yellow.